Okay, so so probably we're gonna need, you might need a block and you might need a strap because we're gonna do some hamstring work right at the beginning. So starting on our back first, just lie down. Make yourself comfortable. I like to place my hands on my belly. For some reason, it makes me feel very relaxed. And just take a deep inhale through the nose. And then on the exhale, open the mouth, let go. And at the same time, close the eyes and start to release the weight of the body into the floor. So just a couple of breaths here, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And you can start to notice the body, how your legs feel, your hips, the trunk, arms, and your head. Then start to notice the rhythm of the breath. If you're happy with that, you could now close the lips and breathe through the nose. And if you have your hands on your tummy, like I do, then you can start to notice the movement that your belly does when you're inhaling and exhaling. So if you're doing a deep belly breathing, then most probably you're going to feel that space between the ribs, the lower ribs and the belly button, moving up and down as you inhale and exhale. This is your diaphragmatic breath. And this is the type of breath that will help you to calm down, help you to relax. Taking here another breath. And then we open the eyes, stretch the arms over the head and just stretch out the body, maybe reaching to one side and then the other side. And then hook the right knee into the chest, just giving yourself a little squeeze. You can also just move, rock the knee from side to side, circle it, start to loosen out the hips, the back of the thigh. And then you can take hold of your strap. So this is going to be for the hamstrings. And then place the strap onto the ball of the foot. Take an inhale and then on the exhale, extend the leg towards the sky. Now make sure that the back of the head, the back of the shoulders are gently, nicely relaxing onto the floor. Sometimes it's nice to have a cushion underneath the head, but if you don't feel like you have to lift the head, then just keep the head on the floor. Then hug the elbows towards the waist. On the next inhale, press the ball of the foot to the sky, and then on the exhale, gently pull the leg towards you. I always say not too little, not too much. So finding again that balance between pulling too much and starting to brace yourself, and where you're not feeling anything. So in between the two, find a place where you can feel the stretch while it doesn't exhaust you. And then just holding it here for a couple of breaths. If you need to exert a lot of power to pull the leg towards you, make sure that you're not over tensing the jaw, the neck, the throat, but you're using the power of your arms instead. You might find after a while that you actually can let go of the strap. That's absolutely fine. Take hold of your calf or the ankle, maybe even the toes, ball of the foot, and keep guiding the leg towards you. Notice what happens if you start to straighten the knee more or flex the foot. So curling the toes towards the shin bone more. Where do you feel the stretch more? Take here one more breath. And then bend the right knee. Again, just hug the knee to the chest to release the back of the thigh, calf muscle. And then place the left hand onto that right knee. Right arm goes beside you. And gently guide the knee across the body for a supine twist. You don't need to force the knee straight to the floor. And if this is uncomfortable with the knee high, place something underneath the knee for support, a pillow. So the chest is pointing upwards. The knee points to the left, and you can look towards the right fingers. If you want to push a little bit more, it's always on the exhale when you're going to drive the knee closer to the floor. Then bring the knee back to center, hug it in for just one breath. And then release the leg back to the floor. Just take a moment here to see how you feel now between the two sides. Maybe you feel a little bit more warmth around the right side, a little bit more energy moving around, the blood flowing into the areas that you worked on. And then coming into the left side, so left knee hugs in. And just start to move the knee, maybe circling it, or maybe just rocking it from side to side. Your hips will be rocking with it as well. And then extend the leg to the ceiling. Take your strap, place it around the ball of the foot. And take an inhale, press the ball of the foot into the strap, into the ceiling. And on the exhale, start to guide the thigh towards the chest. Again, release the back of the shoulder blades to the floor. Bend the elbows, hug them towards the waist. And then again, with the power of your arms, pull closer towards you. If you have the tendency to switch on the jaw or the throat, just move the jaw from side to side, maybe swallow once or twice to release these areas. On the inhale, you prepare. On the exhale, you pull the thigh closer to you. And perhaps you don't need the strap, so you can take hold of the leg. Ankle curl for the toes, maybe the sole of the foot. One more breath here. Then bend the knee. Place your right hand onto the knee, left arm beside you, and then move the knee across the body for your supine twist. Make sure both shoulder blades stay on the floor, and then gently guiding the knee closer to the ground while you're looking towards the left fingers. Few breaths. Bring the knee back to center, hug it in, and then release the leg again. Notice, just bearing witness to what's happening around the hips, around the thighs, lower back maybe. And then bring both knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze, rock from side to side, circle the knees. And then we are going to rock ourselves up. We're going to continue with a couple of core exercises. So starting with a boat pose, hands underneath the knees, behind the knees on the side, or the shoulders back, lengthen to the crown of the head. Then start to lean back and lift the feet away from the ground. Maybe it's just a couple of inches. Maybe you bring the feet in line with the knees. And then start to activate the feet by either flexing or pointing the toes. Roll the shoulders, shoulder blades closer towards one another. Open the chest. Holding it here, maybe letting go of the knees, arms reaching forward, palms facing one another. Maybe straightening the knees. So finding a level where it's comfortable, but you feel you're working. One more breath here. And then hands behind the knees. And place the feet to the floor. Bring the feet closer to you. Bring the hands behind you. Reverse tabletop. Press down. And on the next inhalation, lift your butt. Now squeeze the glutes and lift the hips. And then squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift the chest up towards the ceiling as well. Take another inhale. And then slowly sitting yourself down. Another core exercise. For this one, you place the hands behind you. You can have the fingers facing forward or to the side, whatever is comfortable. And then you can keep the knees bent or straighten the knees. I'm going to work with straight knees. We take an inhale and then on the exhale, lift the legs high as you can. Remember, knees can stay bent. And then on the inhalation, slowly place the feet to the floor. Exhale to lift. Inhale to place the legs down. 5 more. Exhale. And then inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 1 more. Exhale. And then inhale. Back to the floor. Another tabletop. Feet apart, hip width apart. Hands behind you. Press down. And then lift the bum. Again, squeeze the shoulder blades. Lifting through the chest towards the ceiling. Lifting the butt. Don't forget to raise the thighs. Back of the thighs. 1 more breath. And then slowly sitting down. So we're going to come onto our side body. So the lower arm, forearm is on the floor. You're on your side and the 2 legs are together. Reach the upper arm to the ceiling. We take an inhale and then on the exhale, lifting the leg, trying to bring the feet as close to the upper hand as possible. And then slowly down. We're going to do it 10 times. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we swap. Quickly coming onto the other side. So this is working on the core around the side. The obliques. Forearm on the floor. Try not to collapse. Lift. And then upper arm to the ceiling. And then again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Lie on your belly. And then bring the hands a little bit wider than your shoulders, a little bit more forward. Press down through the feet. Activate your legs. Pubic bone melts into the floor, and then the next inhale coming into an easy cobra. Or, well, you can call it like a seal pose as well. So the hands don't need to be close to you. The closer you bring the hands to you, the more you get into that arch in the lower back. And we haven't done much lower back work just yet, so you might want to take it easy. But it really depends on how you feel. And then just start to move from side to side. Looking over one shoulder and then the other. Make sure it's not just your neck moving, but you're actually twisting the chest to one and then the other side of the mat.
Come back to center. And then exhale, release. Bring the hands underneath the forehead. And just shake the bum. Shake out the legs. Keep the feet as they are, really switched on, switch on the glutes. Hands come underneath the shoulders now. Inhale, lift yourself just halfway up. And then exhale, lift your hands. Squeeze the shoulder blades, elbows towards one another. Then press the hands back to the floor and release the chest and forehead to the ground. 2 more. Inhale, lift yourself comfortably up. Press down through the pubic bone, through the feet. Lift your arms, squeeze the shoulder blades, pop the chest to the front. And then slowly place the hands to the floor and release the chest and the forehead. 1 more. Inhale, halfway up, shoulders down. Exhale, lift your arms, squeeze the elbows. Inhale, hands to the floor. And then exhale, lower back down. Rest here for a second. We're going to go 1 more time and we're going to do a little bit of movement in that posture as well. So we're going to stay up. We're going to move the legs up as well. We'll lift the legs up as well. We're going to move the arms. But you can just follow my instructions. So reactivate your legs and the glutes. Tug the tailbone under, pubic bone pressing down. Then inhale, come halfway up. And then this time, exhale, lift your arms and lift the legs as well high. Then inhale, reach the arms to the front. Exhale, hug the elbows back in. Inhale, reach to the front. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale to the front. Exhale, hug it in. 1 more time. Inhale to the front. Hold it here. Extending through the fingertips, through the toes. Press down through the belly. Press down through the pubic bone. Then back with elbows to the waist. Hands to the floor. Feet to the ground. And slowly lower down. Hands underneath the forehead. Bend the knees and raise right from side to side again. Bring the legs down to the floor, hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale for your cobra pose. And push back into child's pose. Just few breaths in your child pose. I'm actually going to take my jumper off. It's getting really warm now again. So a few breaths in your child's pose. And it's quite nice after the back bend in child's pose. You can again expand around the lower back. Make your way into tabletop. Spread the fingers wide. Curl the toes under. Move into your downward facing dog. And then moving downward facing dog, start to walk it out. Swaying the hips from side to side. Maybe placing the heels towards one side and then the other side as well. You can shake the head, yes and no. Move the jaw from side to side, open the mouth wide. So any movement that helps you to stretch out the body, release any tension. And then coming into a stationary dog. So rooting down through the feet, through the hands. Lift your tailbone high, gently guiding the chest and the armpits to the sky. Not to the sky, sorry, to the chest. The chest, okay, I'm going crazy now, upside down. Chest and armpits towards the thighs. But at the same time, you're hugging the ribs towards the spine. Then bring the feet together. Lift your right leg to the sky. And then step the foot between the hands. Drop the back knee down. Lift yourself up. Place your right hand onto the right thigh. Gently push the hips forward. Tuck the bum. Reach your left arm to the sky. Take an inhale. Fingers to the ceiling. And then on the exhale, arch back. Keep squeezing the navel into the spine. Arch. Then come back up. Inhale high, and then on the exhale, lean towards your right. With your right hand, Press it to the outside, into the outside of the thigh, so you keep the knee over the ankle. At the same time, with your left fingers, you're reaching to your right. Come back to center. Hands on either side of the front foot. Lift the back knee away from the floor. Keep your left hand on the ground. Take the right arm to the sky for your twist. Twisting a little bit more. Turn the chest up to face the ceiling. One more breath. And then we swap arms. Right hand comes to the inside of the foot. Left heel down. You can use a block here or come onto the fingertips for a little bit more height and reach your left arm towards the sky. Make sure the front knee is over the ankle. You can press your upper arm into the inside of the knee. And you're going to feel a lot of stretch around the inner thigh. And then hands onto the floor. Pick up the back heel. Now variations. One variation is that you just come back into your twist. We've been here before. Or you can place your left forearm onto the ground and with your left hand take hold of the right ankle. You can also place your forearm onto a block and then reach your right arm to the sky for your twist. So that left arm can stay on the floor or on a block with your hand holding onto the ankle and the right arm high. Look up, twist. Hands to the floor. Walk the right foot up. Make sure that there is space for your hands at the inside of the right foot. You can stay on your palms or you can come onto your forearms. And then we can join. Just gonna rock back and forth a couple of times. Remember, you can always lift your elbows or use your thick book, the big book underneath the forearms, or maybe a cushion, a block if you have one. Excellent, and then from here, we move back into downward facing dog. And then once again, move, wriggle and shake, maybe shaking out that right leg. On the side, so feet together in the back of the mat, lift your left leg up, and then step it to the front. Drop the back knee down. Left hand comes onto the left thigh, gently guiding the hips forward. Tuck the bum under the body, squeezing the lower belly. And then reach your right arm to the sky. Reach a little bit higher, and then arch back. Keep squeezing the belly. Offer your heart to the ceiling. Slowly come back up. The side stretch, you can place the left hand to the outside of the left thigh. Inhale, reach to the right fingers, and then exhale, lean towards your left. So with your hand, guide the knee right over the ankle. Then with the right fingers, reach to the left. Release, hands to the floor. Pick up the back knee. Right hand, or just the right fingertips on the floor. Left arm to the sky for your twist. And we swap arms. Left hand down, back heel down, and then reach your right arm to the sky. Again, maybe using a block, a book underneath that left hand, or you can just lift up onto the fingertips. Right hand to the floor. And then your variation, maybe another twist, or you can just drop your right forearm to the ground, taking hold of that left ankle, reaching the left arm high. Keep the back knee away from the floor. If you're very tired, just place it to the ground, but otherwise, knee away from the floor, push the back heel away. Then both hands to the floor. Walk the left foot towards the left edge of the mat, so there's space for both hands on the inside. And then you can stay upright, or you can place the forearms to the ground, and we rock back and forth a few times. You can come onto the outer edge of the front foot and allow the knee to just drop down towards the floor if it feels better. You can always place the back knee to the ground and use some support underneath the forearms. Make your way back onto the palms and stand back into downward facing dog. Walk it out. Then walk the feet to the top of the mat. Relax the arms, relax the head, soften the knees. Very slowly rise. Excellent. So we're gonna do cat and cow, but standing up. We did it, I think, last week. So bend the knees and stick the bum out, arching the spine. This is your cow pose. Your arms are back, like you're spreading your wings. It's up to you how you want to place your hands. You can have the palms facing forward and squeeze the arms back, or you can have the palms facing towards you and you're squeezing the shoulder blades that way. So it doesn't really matter with the arms, but you just want to pop the chest out and bring the shoulder blades together. So on the inhale, you open the chest, arch, look up. And then on the exhale, you tuck the tailbone under, round the back, and then press the palms away from you to the front. Then inhale back into arching, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the tailbone high, look up. Exhale, round the back, push the palms forward, squeeze the belly, squeeze the thighs. Few more. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale, arch. And then exhale, round. And then standing up, shaking out. Come to the top of the mat. We continue with some sun salutations, and it's going to be just a little bit different than the usual sun salutations. Couple of rounds, and then standing poses. Hands in prayer, roll the shoulders down. Start to connect to the feet. Bring the attention into the thighs. Tailbone gently tucking under, lifting through the crown of the head. Just very gently sliding the shoulder blades towards one another. And on the next inhale, raise the arms to the sky. Look up, maybe a little arch. Hands into prayer and fold forward. Inhale for your halfway lift, long straight spine. And then slowly walk yourself back into a high plank pose. Shoulders over the wrist, squeeze the belly, lift through the shoulder blades. And then drop the knees, lower down to the ground. Hands underneath the shoulders, press down through the feet. Inhale for your cobra pose, elbows in, shoulders down. Then push back into child's pose. And make your way into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, press the heels towards the floor. Then bring the feet together in the back of the mat. Raise the right leg to the sky. On the exhale, step the foot between the hands. Keep the left hand on the floor. Take the right arm to the sky for another twist. There will be a couple of twists now in our sun salutations. Both hands to the floor. Step forward, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift, long straight spine. Exhale and fall down. Inhale and rise, look up, maybe a little arch. Hands into prayer. And we go again, same. So very similar to our usual sun salutations, but there will be a twist at the end. Inhale, arms to the sky, look up, arch back. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Slowly walk back into high plank. Now you can lower down to the floor or come into chaturanga. If you're going for chaturanga, you're going to bring the shoulders beyond the wrists. Bend the elbows, come halfway down. Then tops of the feet to the floor, roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades, puff the chest to the front. And then move into your downward facing dog.
Relax the head. Bring the feet together. Lift your left leg to the sky. Send the foot between the hands. Right hand stays on the floor. Lift the left arm towards the ceiling. Look up and twist. Both hands down. Step forward, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Let it go. Inhale and rise. Look up, arch back. Hands into prayer. And then 2 more. This time with open twists at the end. Inhale, arms to the sky. Look up, arch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then step back into high plank pose. You can go through chaturanga and up dog, or you drop the knees, slowly lower down. Inhale, cobra pose, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Reach your right leg to the sky. Step the foot between the hands. Drop the back knee down. Place your right hand to the inside of the right foot and lift your left arm to the sky. Look up, twist. Then both hands on the floor. Step forward, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Let it go. Inhale and rise, look up, arch. Hands into prayer. And then 1 more. Inhale, arms to the sky, arch back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back into high plank. Lower down or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Nice open heart. Downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky. Step it to the front. Drop the back heel down. Left hand to the inside of the left foot. Support yourself with a block under the hand if you need. And right arm towards the ceiling. Look up. Both hands to the floor. Step forward, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Fall down. Inhale and rise. Arch back. Hands into prayer. And just standing at the top of the mat for a few breaths. Notice the heat you created. Notice how the quality of the breath has changed. And then moving into our standing poses. On the next inhale, raise the arms, look up, arch. Exhale, fall down. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk the feet back into high plank. Lower down, or you can go for chaturanga. Inhaling for cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Reach your right leg to the sky. And then step it to the front. Coming into warrior 1. So placing the back heel to the floor. And then lifting yourself up with your right knee bent. Back heel down, back knee straight. Your hips are pointing also to the front, so to 12 o'clock. You can place your hands on the hips and gently guide the right hip back and the left forward. If the back heel wants to lift away from the floor, that's absolutely fine. Then reach your arms to the sky. Try to bring the arch in line with your ears without flaring up the chest too much, the ribs. And take the arms behind you, interlacing the fingers. You're going to take humble warrior. Roll the shoulder back, squeeze the shoulder blades. If this is not comfortable, take hold of the strap, creating more space between the hands. Take a big breath in, arch back, and then on the exhale, fall down, hovering the chest just an inch away from the thigh. Reach your arms a little bit higher, and extend the crown of the head towards the front corner on the floor. Keep both legs active, by actively pushing the back heel to the floor. Reach your shoulders and the hands away from the neck. Take another breath,
And then slowly lift yourself up. Straightening the front knee. And stepping the back foot a little bit closer to the front foot. Pyramid pose. Hips are still pointing forward. We're going to use the hands. You might need the blocks, so make sure they are in front of you. Otherwise, well, anyways, starting with the hands on the hips. Instead of locking the front knee, try to activate the leg and activating the muscles around the knee joint. Press down through the feet, inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then on the exhale, slowly folding over that right leg. And you're still lengthening through the crown of the head. At one point, your body will say, this is enough, I don't want to fold any longer, and lower. You can use the blocks underneath the hands, or you can place the hands onto the block. Try to keep the spine long, just like in a halfway lift pose. And we hold it here. So extending through the hips behind you, with the crown of the head to the front. And maybe after a few breaths, you're able to go just a little bit lower. But remember our mantra, not too much, not too little. So if you start to shake, if you start to brace yourself, you've gone too far, you have to back off. Keep activating the thighs, pull them up towards the hips, and then very slowly walk the hands towards the right edge of the mat. You can use the blocks as well, so you can walk with the blocks. And then gently release the hips towards the left side. So the chest is low, hands on the right edge of the mat, and your hips gently releasing towards the left. And slowly walk the hands with the block back to center. And we're going to come into a twisted triangle. Your left hand stays on the floor. It can be at the inside of the foot. It can be on the foot. You can place the hand to the outer edge, outside of the foot. You can use the block underneath the hand. You press down. Again, lengthen through the crown of the head to the front. And then you're going to lift the right arm to the sky. If the back heel lifts, don't worry about it. But press down through the heel towards the floor and keep twisting. It can get very wobbly, so make sure that your hand on the floor or the balls on the hand on the block supports you. And bring the hands to the floor. Soften the right knee. Standing splits. With blocks underneath the hands or without. Lift your left leg up and guide the chest towards the thigh. If you're stable, you can take hold of the back of the ankle with your right hand and then actively pull the chest towards the thigh. Relax the head. One more breath. And then slowly step forward with the left foot. Take the feet a little bit wider. Soften the knees, opposite hand onto opposite elbow. And just gently sway from side to side. Let go of the arms. Slowly rise. And we come into the left side in a second. Bring the feet together. Start to lengthen. Hands in prayer. On the next inhale, raise the arms, look up, arch back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the floor, walk back into a high plank pose. Lower down and cobra or chaturanga and upward facing dog. We all meet in downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Lift your left leg up. Step it to the front, warrior one. Remember, warrior one, hips and toes facing to the front to 12 o'clock. The back foot won't be doing that totally. And you might find that it's easier for you if it's a bit more out, the toes. But the main thing is that you're trying to reach the left hip, bend the right forward. Bend the front knee, press down to the back heel towards the floor. If it lifts, don't worry about it. Arms to the sky. Palms facing one another. Reach to the fingers as high as you can. And then hands behind you, interlace the fingers or take hold of your strap. Shoulders back. Hands away from the butt. Inhale, lift the chest, a slight arch. And then exhale, forward with your chest hovering off the thigh, just a couple of inches away. Reach the arms a little bit higher. Back heel presses down. Crown of the head reaches forward. Both legs are active. And then slowly rise. Straighten the front knee. And step forward slightly with the back foot, but keeping the hips pointing forward. Hands on the hips. Pyramid pose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, start to fold. Keep the spine long and straight. When you stop, use the blocks underneath the hands. If you can't reach to the floor, keep drawing the left hip back, the right forward, extending to the crown of the head, to the front. Then allowing the chest to go as deep as it can, without making you jump out of the pose because of the effect on the back of the side. Few breaths. Keep the shoulders moving away from your neck, from the ears, so the neck stays long and you're not over-activating the back of the neck and the upper back. And from here, start to move the hands towards the left edge of the mat. Take the block with them, if you like. And then gently just release the hips towards the opposite side. Coming back to the foot, to the front. And then twisted triangle. I like to come into a little bit wider stance between the feet for this one. The right hand stays on the floor. It can be at the inside or outside of the foot. You can even place your hand onto the ankle or onto the top of the foot. And then you press down, hips still pointing forward, and then slowly reach your left arm to the sky. I have to say, this is not my most favorite pose, but I can definitely feel it in my back leg, the calf muscle, and it gives me a good stretch on the IT band as well on my left side. And really ground down through the feet and that right hand on the floor to keep you stable and steady here. Then hands back to the floor. And we're going to come into our standing split. Soften that left knee. Shift the weight into the left leg and then slowly lift the right leg to the sky. Your hands stay on the floor or on your blocks. And you're guiding the chest towards the thigh. And maybe with the left hand, around that left ankle, you can now actively pull the chest towards the thigh while you're reaching the right leg towards the sky. A few more breaths. And then slowly stepping to the front. Soften the knees, opposite hand to opposite elbow, relax the head. You can sway from side to side again. Release the arms. And then rise. Bring the feet together. Lift your arms to the sky, arch back. On the exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the ground, step back into a high plank pose. Breath in, drop the knees, very slowly lower down to the ground. So we're going to take half frog. We're going to bend the left knee and bring the knee in line with the hip. And there is a right angle, so 90 degrees,
behind the knee. And this is one variation where you can stay, but we are going to amp it up a little bit. Keep the left forearm on the ground, bend the right knee, and with your right hand, take hold of the right foot, and then hug the heel towards the butt. Yeah, a few breaths here. So pull the heel towards the butt. Try not to collapse into that left shoulder. Lift away from it. And release the right foot. Hands to the floor. Release the forehead onto the arms. And just hold it here in your half frog, a couple of breaths before we come into the other side. Straighten the left knee. Maybe regard the hips. And then the other side. So I'm just going to move down to the left. And then bend the right knee. Again, knee in line with your hips. Right angle and that right knee. Come onto the forearms. And you might instantly feel the compression in the lower back, which is okay if you just note, if it's just a compression, just feel, okay, I'm compressing. If there is any really uncomfortable shooting pain sensation, then just back off by bringing the elbows maybe a little bit wider and allowing the chest to lower down. You can also tug the tailbone. And then bend the left knee with your left arm, left hand, reach back, take hold of the foot, and then hug the heel towards the butt. Again, try not to collapse into that right shoulder. Again, you're going to feel it in the lower back. So keep pressing the pubic bone to the floor, or maybe sliding the forearm a little bit more forward, or just releasing the foot a little bit more. And let go of the foot. Staying in your half frog. Head resting on the ground or your arms. And then straighten the right knee. Roll onto your back. And then bring the feet wide, knock the knees together. This is quite nice for the lower back. I don't know about you, but I am very aware of my lower back, and I have to warm up a lot for back bends. So not just around the lower back, but also the whole body. I need to be very, very warm and a little bit sweaty in order to do back bends. So I'm always a little bit cautious about back bends. But we have one round of back bends to do. We're going to do 2 rounds of, well, there is an option. I will be doing 1 bridge and then a wheel. But you're very welcome if you know that you're good to go. You do 2 bridges or 2 wheels. It's up to you. I will be talking you first through bridge and then the wheel. If this is your first time doing wheel, maybe just stick with the bridge now, because I won't be able to explain everything about the wheel. So take it only at your own risk, I would say. But otherwise, we can do next week or the week after. You can do a proper back bend session, and there I can go through the wheel, and then you can, if this is going to be your first time, then you can learn about it a little bit more before you start. Bring the feet close to the buttocks, hip width apart, toes are pointing forward. Press down, arms beside you. And then press down through the arms and the feet, and slowly lift your bum and the spine away from the ground. Draw the shoulders a little bit closer to each other. Maybe you're able to interlace the fingers. If that doesn't work, don't worry about it. So getting the arms underneath the body, lifting your hips and squeezing the thighs and the glutes. Reach the chest bone and the hips up towards the sky. We breathe here for a few. Keep pushing down through the arms, the feet, while your hips and chest are lifting. And then slowly open the arms, lift the heels, and then place the upper back, mid back, and lower back butt to the floor. Take the feet wide, drop the knees together once more. We're going to do one more time, but first rest in between the poses. Okay, so feet flat on the ground for wheel pose, hands beside the head, with your fingers pointing towards the shoulders and the edges of the palms pointing behind you. I'm going to press down. I like to come onto the crown of the head just for a second to arrange my hands and feet. And then on the next inhale, lift yourself up. So pushing the feet and the hands down, press the chest towards the hands. And try to straighten the elbows as much as you can. Relax the head. One more breath. And then slowly lower down, tuck the chin to the chest. Back of the head, neck, and spine on the floor. Feet wide, knees together. Hands beside you or on your belly. I have to say that it's nice to stay longer in your wheel, but when you have to talk through it, honestly, it's unbelievably difficult. So if you want to come quickly into your third one, bridge or wheel, go for it. I'm just going to stay and rest here. If you're not in your third back bend, you can just sway the knees from side to side. And then for a nice little back release pose, we take Gomukha Asana, cow face, lying down. You're going to cross the knees with the right knee on the top. And then hug the knees towards you. You can take hold of the shins, or you can take hold of the outer edges of the feet, and you're hugging the knees towards you, but guiding the feet and the shins away from one another. This will lengthen out the lower back, but at the same time, you will also feel it in your hips. This pose usually is done in a seated variation, but I find that very demanding on my knees. This one is much gentler, much more gentle, but I think for me it's just more efficient. Let me know how you feel about it. And it's quite nice after back bends, because now you're rounding the back, so you're doing exactly the opposite what you've been doing when you were in the back bends, when we were compressing the lower back. Relax your neck, throat, jaw, and keep guiding those shins away from one another. And release, feet to the ground, maybe a little sway. And then the other side, crossing the knees with the left knee on top. Bring the knees towards you. You can take hold of your shins and then guide the shins apart, or you can take hold of the outer edges of the feet. Your bum might lift away from the floor, and that's totally fine. If you're very wobbly though, then you can place maybe a cushion underneath the lower back, or you can lift the head and place a block underneath the head. Keep the feet and the shins nice wide. Make sure that the back of the neck is relaxed. And a couple of breaths here. Let go of the legs. Again, feet to the floor. Windscreen wiping again from side to side. And then hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. You come into corpse pose, shavasana. Extend the legs away from you, a little bit further apart from one another. Arms beside you, palms facing up towards the sky. Close the eyes. Take a deep breath through the nose. And then hold the breath in. Then open the mouth, let it all go with a sigh. And we rest here for a couple of minutes. Stay there on your back. Slowly start to bring your attention back into the here and now. Become aware of the body on the floor. And then become aware of your breath. Begin to wriggle the fingers and the toes. Move the hands, the feet. Roll the head from side to side. And bring the arms over the head. Stretch yourself out. Up the knees into the chest. Roll over onto one side. Stay there. Maybe use your lower arm under the head like a pillow.
And very slowly lift yourself up. Take a comfortable seated pose with your eyes still closed, sitting upright and tall. And then bring the hands into prayer. We take one last breath together. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, let it all go. Bring the thumb knuckles to the forehead center. And together we say, Namaste, and bow. Thank you very much, guys, for being here.